Welcome to In Tune to Nature. I'm Carrie Freeman, one of the co-hosts of In Tune to Nature, a show dedicated to sharing eco and animal-friendly information that you need to know to be a responsible eco-citizen, or as I like to say, to embrace your human, animal, earthling identity. The views and opinions expressed on In Tune to Nature do not necessarily reflect those of WRFG, its board, staff, or volunteers. Our website for the show is facebook.com/intune-to-nature, and the In Tune to Nature podcasts can be found on most streaming sites. If you appreciate that this independent radio station prioritizes environmental protection issues and stands up for all species, please make a financial contribution at the website wrfg.org and select In Tune to Nature from the drop-down list. I'm glad you're joining us on Radio Free Georgia's In Tune to Nature program. I'm host Carrie Freeman, coming to you from Atlanta in November of 2021. Today we're going to be talking about eco-friendly gift giving, but I'm taking a different approach than I have in these annual shows, because I always do a segment on this. I've done this probably for the last 10 years, right before Black Friday and the kind of frenzy of buying that is associated with the holiday season, in particular for those of us that celebrate Christmas. While I normally focus on the fact that we want to reduce waste and not overspend and buy durable products or eco-friendly, organic, vegan products, and do more with less and make sure things are recyclable and not buy new items, all that is good. But I've been thinking more these days about focusing on time. So what we're going to talk about today is maximizing gift giving by focusing on experiences. And this could be experiences that you're just gifting to someone else to have, or experience that you're willing to share with them, or you're going to help them in some way. So it could be it also is kind of about help, but the idea behind it is twofold. One is to declutter and to not gather more things, because even you can buy eco-friendly things, go to a thrift store, and so everything's used, so that's great, and you're buying a bunch of stuff, but then you're cluttering up your house. And the other is just to focus on enjoying our life and not focusing on things as much. And one of the things that got me interested in this is just having to clean out my grandparents' house when after they had passed away and my aunt was going to move out of the house. And I mean, it took so many of us to help with, when someone's lived in a house for, decades. And there's family heirlooms and there's things that you treasure, but then there's things that you don't care about. And they're just anybody who's even when we move, just a regular move, not just when someone's passed away, there's just so much that many of us have collected. And I'm not saying it's all junk, because, if it was totally junk, then we could just throw it away and it would just be easy. But also for those of us who are trying to be responsible and not fill up landfills, the idea of cleaning out a big house also means you have to responsibly shred and recycle all kinds of paper and properly dispose of any hazardous materials like paint or chemicals. And anyway, so the process of moving and dealing with all this stuff is really overwhelming, and to do it responsibly is actually really hard in an eco-friendly way. And even just in our own lives, helping my parents with all the stuff I have in their basement, or the stuff from my grandparents or my brother, whatever that is in their basement, or what people have in their attics and in their closets, it gets pretty overwhelming for us. And so I just was suddenly thinking, you know what? I have plenty of stuff. I have more than I need. And I think my relatives and friends do as well. And so even though I could buy them some eco-friendly gift item, I think it's better to give them something that will not land in their house permanently. And so that can include food, because that's something that could be a sustainable food item, like some organic or vegan tea or nuts or treats or dark chocolate, fair trade, or, vitamins and herbs and things like that. Because that qualifies for this, because it's a an enjoyable food taste experience, but then it doesn't leave a trace. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on today. But in addition to just kind of buying food or treats, that's one item. But thinking about experiences we can give people. And a lot of this came out of me reading books like The 4-Hour Work Week, Your Money or Your Life, Die with Zero, and all the kind of decluttering books like Marie Kondo and stuff that we have out there that focus more on enjoying your life, but with fewer items. And so one of the things I know I like to do is go on trips like using Airbnb, where I'm just basically staying at other people's houses and it helps them make a little bit of money. It's usually less expensive for me. And so it usually seems like a win-win. And I actually have always had good experiences all around the world. And so you can actually get a gift certificate to Airbnb if you know that some people in your life like to travel. And the Airbnb could be just literally, it could be here in Atlanta, just if you want to get away, or cabins in North Georgia, or, on the beautiful Georgia coast. So there's lots of places you can just carpool to, and you could make it a gift certificate also that maybe you're inviting your friends or family on a trip with you, or getting them, and you can carpool together, or you're getting them a gift certificate that they could use. And if you know somebody particularly likes staying at parks, you could get them a Georgia State Park annual pass. And that's good not only for hiking and different things, that recreation that we can do at all our beautiful parks, but also they have like yurts and cabins and stuff that you can rent at some of the parks. And so that's another experience that people could have, is you kind of getting them set up to do like a cabin rental or something at a Georgia State Park you think they're going to like. If they're more adventurous or want to travel a little bit more, there's also a national park pass. Although we do have national parks right around here as well, because it includes also some historic areas, not just natural parks like the Great Smoky Mountain Park. So that's an idea as well. You could also invite somebody to your house in terms of having them, just inviting them to your house as a vacation, or you could do a house swap, although that would probably mean you're not hanging out with them, because you're saying if you live in different places, you could propose like a house swap just to get a different experience. As long as we're talking about sharing things, even just you could sign them up for a car share if they did not have reliable transportation, and if the public transportation was very difficult for them, you could do like a zip car type thing for them, or you could just offer that you will carpool with them different places. Or if you have a vehicle like a truck or a SUV or a station wagon or something that has a lot of cargo space, there's a lot of us that either have small cars or don't have cars who could really use somebody helping us out with the truck if we want to take a lot of items to the recycling center or something like that, or to a Goodwill. And other things related to help could be cleaning, volunteering to clean someone's house, or do yard work, or paying somebody to do yard work for them, or to do housekeeping or maintenance help around their house. So and in these cases, it's maybe not the experience that they're getting, but it's for people if they really don't enjoy cleaning house, or they can't really do yard work, or they really don't like it, or they're not good at home maintenance. What you're doing in that case is paying someone who's better at that kind of thing to do that, so then your friend or family member can spend their time doing something they like more, or they can rest and relax. So when I'm talking about experiences, it sometimes is you're hiring people to do things for you that you don't particularly enjoy. Like a lot of us don't enjoy cooking, and so we just enjoy going out to eat. And so another experience that people like is restaurants, going to restaurants. So you could either volunteer to say, hey, I want to take you all out. That's my gift to this particular restaurant. Or you could get them a gift certificate to that restaurant. You could also do something that's like a vegan cooking class that you take together, or even like a catering service, or like where you have a vegan chef come to your house and prepare a meal and give you a class at the same time. And that's a pretty special experience. If you're looking for eco-friendly restaurants, I tend to stick, of course, with the vegan restaurants, so plant-based. And if you look on the app, and it's also online as a website, Happy Cow is what it's called. You can look up vegetarian, vegan, and vegetarian friendly restaurants around the world by typing in any city there. So some of the great places around Atlanta that are plant-based include Planta, Soul Vegetarian, Urban Fix, Dulce Vegan, Slutty Vegan, and Bar Vegan, which is also now in the Pont City Market. Plant-based Pizza, Arden's Garden, Cafe Sunflower, Cinnaholic, Harmony, N Vegan, Loving Hut, Hippie Hibachi, Life Bistro, The Local Coco, Chi Vegan Taco, Healthful Essence, Go Vegan Grill, Tassili's, Raw Reality. And then also a place like Seven Anda, which is a natural foods store, like a health food store, that's also a vegan co-op. So you could get somebody a membership there so that every time they go and shop there, they can get the member discount, which is 10% off once a month. And I've been enjoying that. I love shopping at that historic vegetarian market. It's the place that I went when I first went vegetarian back in the 90s. I would drive in from the suburbs to go to Seven Anda. So, and they also have a hot bar. So in that case, people can buy food to prepare at home, or eat from the hot bar. A lot of these businesses I wanted to mention are minority owned as well. So that's another kind of win-win about going to vegan restaurants, supporting minority entrepreneurs, and keeping the money local and having fantastic food that doesn't have as much of a taxing effect on the environment as meat-based foods do. And one of my friends, Chris Eubanks, he put together a new website called Black Vegan Everything. And on that site, part of it, he has a directory of Black-owned vegan businesses, and it's separated out by different states. So, and there's probably more than is on the lists right now, but that's the Black Vegan Everything website is a place to go if you are particularly wanting to support Black vegan businesses. Another thing that you can do is composting service. I guess this isn't really an experience, but it does help declutter your house in the sense, and declutter our world in the sense that you're getting food out of your house, but in a responsible way. So instead of just putting it in the garbage, you're taking all your food scraps and it's actually being turned into compost, which is similar to a fertilizer. And if you can either get someone a backyard composting bin, if you think they're the type that would actually use that and they have a house, or me and my neighbors have a composting service through Compost Now. And so that they come, we just put the food out in these bins that they bring, and we put all our food scraps in there. And it can include also cardboard, that like coffee cups that aren't really recyclable, or any kind of paper containers that are food stained. That also works, as well as like Kleenex and paper towels and stuff. And they come and pick it up every week or every other week, depending on what you need. And then that compost, you can pick which farms end up getting, local farms and gardens end up getting the compost. So it's kind of a closed loop, which is awesome, where the food that you're eating, the leftover scraps or anything that's gone bad, or, the apple cores or the rind on a melon or anything, all of that ends up turning into something that grows more food, and it's potentially the food you're buying like at the local farmers markets. Other things that are experience-based would be any kind of sports tickets or theater or symphony or music or concert type tickets, as well, or just even iTunes, like an iTunes card so people can download music, or it could be like a Spotify or Pandora membership or something like that, because there's all kinds of apps you can use. A lot of times there's no charge for some of the apps, but it usually, if you join for a subscription, like I have a subscription to Insight Timer, which is like a meditation app. And I really enjoy, I think it's worth it to pay a little bit of a monthly fee to get more options, and to be able to download and create playlists and take courses on personal growth and on meditation. So that could be something that you give somebody, is like a subscription to some kind of app. And especially when it's wellness based, or it could even be a subscription to news organizations like the Guardian or the New York Times or the AJC or something, where they're getting it all online. So it's not causing any damage to the environment with using paper or anything. And we're also supporting journalism. And you could also give to WRFG, our radio station here, Radio Free Georgia, because we have a lot of public affairs programming as well. And so that's another way to kind of give somebody an experience. If you know they like supporting news and staying on top of the news and being kind of civic minded, I think, that makes sense. What about experiences like a massage or a facial, or just going to the hair salon? Those are things you can give gift certificates to. Sometimes there's like pools or sauna. There's places that you could do like sauna memberships to help people relax. Manicures, pedicures. A lot of times you might want to bring your own non-toxic nail polish if you're doing manicures and pedicures, that like the kinds of products that would be more cruelty-free and natural that you might get from a natural foods store, rather than just the drugstore. But like I like to go to Iwi Fresh, which is a Black woman-owned business that does massages and facials and manicures, pedicures, as like a farm to skin type of place. It's kind of in the Castleberry Hill area. And I think it's just pretty cool because it's more of a natural experience, and they make their own skincare products. And like if you buy any, they have to go in the refrigerator because they don't have preservatives and stuff. And so it's stuff from their gardens. And so that just makes for a really nice, relaxing experience. And a lot of us are so stressed with everything that we have to do that I think it can just be nice to spend some time kind of taking care of your skin, or getting some kind of reflexology massage or a scalp massage or foot massage or something like that, and helping a local business in the process. You could also hire a wellness or holistic consultant for somebody. It could even be some kind of personal growth therapy or a life coach or something like that. It could be a gym membership if you know somebody would like to work out and have more professional equipment or weights than they have in their house. Because otherwise, I suppose a gym membership, if somebody didn't really want it or wasn't asking, could be kind of insulting. But if you know that they actually would like it but can't afford it, that could be a good idea. There could be things you give for someone's companion animal, like helping them with vet care or certain products. Or again, I'm trying to stay away from the products, but I know sometimes we have to buy products if like our leashes get broken or old, or things we have to replace that we use. So, but also, you could do pet walking and pet sitting, and or hire like a dog trainer if somebody's having issues with their dog with separation anxiety or problems walking them on the leash or different kinds of things like that. That could make for a better kind of experience in their household if we know better how to interact with our companion animals. And There's also our children or people's children, like babysitting services that you could provide, or even tutoring. So that's another thing that takes the stress off of people and, doesn't clutter up your house. Another thing that, since I've been reading different books, some of the books I've been reading, like Your Money or Your Life, talk about preparing for retirement and saving. And although the savings that you do can be utilized, like the 4-hour work week and different things, the books are not always just about saving money for some future time when you don't work at all, but they're also trying to think, how can you make it so that in your life you're taking kind of mini retirements or enjoying going on trips or not overworking yourself during your younger years. And so, but there's a lot of focus, like if you read Susie Orman or any of the financial advisors, on saving. So while we're trying to enjoy our lives now, we also need to be saving for their future. And so that's also part of what we could think about in terms of sustainability, right? Like, and that's kind of what I'm talking about here, that it's not just about buying sustainable products that are biodegrade or something like that, but there's also sustainability in terms of planning for our future, because we're doing that a lot on the show, is planning for the future of our planet. But we also need to take care of ourselves and our families, and that does include financially making sure that we're going to be able to have quality food and quality health care and living in a safe place. So you can open savings accounts for people, or if you really want to be thinking about somebody for their retirement, there's Roth IRAs that you can open for other people. Although I think, as I've been trying to figure out that process, you might want to actually just say that you are gifting them $100, let's say, to start a Roth IRA, and that you're going to work on it with them, because sometimes you might need their social security number or something. It might be too difficult to set up by yourself. And you can also set up a Roth IRA for children and be like a custodian of it until they become 18. But there's some rules about that in terms of the children have to have some earned income. So it might be like better for teenagers or people who've started getting a part-time job or babysitting or something. And so you would want to work with their parents on that. So maybe you just want to start a savings account until they're 18, and then you can do the Roth IRA. But one of the things that's cool about that is showing them that if they start saving now, because they're young, they don't even have to put that much money in each year. And because of the compound interest, if they've invested it in certain funds, and there are socially responsible and ecologically responsible funds that you can invest in, and that the money just like doubles and triples, and it becomes so much more than you would have actually saved yourself. And since we were talking also about the idea of decluttering, you could hire an organizational expert if you wanted to, especially if you knew that, you could do that for yourself, of course, but if you knew that someone was getting overwhelmed, like with all the stuff in their basement or their closets or their garage or whatever, perhaps hiring an organizational expert, kind of in the Marie Kondo type vein, to come and help them sort through things and decide, what has to go in a landfill. That's the last choice. What you're going to keep, what gets donated or recycled, or given away or sold. So there's a lot of decisions that have to be made. And you could even offer if you can't afford to hire somebody to help a friend or relative, you can offer that you're going to be the one that helps them clean out the garage and perhaps do a yard sale. Because undertaking something like that, as much as we would like to do it, and you can make some extra money and kind of rid yourself of things that you're not using that are bogging you down that other people could be using. But if we just get overwhelmed by having to do it ourselves, so offering to help would be a good thing. And also want to mention outside of our homes, in our gardens, especially for those people who have a yard, you could arrange an urban gardening session with a expert gardener to help someone set up a vegetable garden or an herb garden, or like one of the organizations I like, Grow Where You Are with Eugene Cook and Nicole Blue. They do veganic gardening, and they follow agroecology type growing methods, and even understand things like forest gardening. So if you have a backyard that has a lot of trees in it, it's not about cutting down all the trees. You can create different kind of canopied gardening landscapes that are kind of more natural. Or if you just have a little patch in the front of your yard that gets good sun, you could just have somebody come and set up and teach you how to maintain the soil and use the kind of veganic or organic compost to grow your own food. Truly Living Well Center for Natural Urban Agriculture, along with Grow Where You Are some good resources for that. We also have an organization in Atlanta called Georgia Organics. And even though they tend to help larger farms in growing organic food and helping us get access to it, they also could probably be a resource for you, the Georgia Organics group, if you're interested in that. And we have a Georgia Native Plant Society, and they will do sales from time to time. Like I know they do some at the farmers market, the Freedom Farmers Market that I go to at the Jimmy Carter Center. And so you could check with the Georgia Native Plant Society to see when their sales are, because if somebody has a yard, you could also get them just different trees or shrubs that are natural and native that also help wildlife. Or you could even just work with Trees Atlanta and do tree planting around your community, because that is, again, what I was saying, that's producing a fun experience and like something really positive that you're doing in the community. And in that case, you're leaving a great legacy. So these were just some ideas that I had of ways that you could maximize people's life experiences without bogging them down with any more stuff. So I feel like we're enhancing their life, we're decluttering, we're focusing on wellness and friendship and family and experiences that are also eco-friendly experiences, hopefully, that are good for the environment and more sustainable in general. And so in that frame of mind, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season and can put some of these ideas to good use. On a recent interview with someone from Center for Biological Diversity, they told me about a alternative gift registry called So Kind Registry at sokindregistry.org, and it's part of their effort to cut down on consumption. So instead of having a gift registry that's attached to a particular store buying all new things, you can put anything that you want on this registry, like music lessons, secondhand items, saying that donations, to your favorite charity like WRFG, or you're an environmental organization. So it's entirely customizable, and it's designed to help your friends and family know what you want and what you value without cluttering up and destroying our planet. That sounds like a win-win. SoKindRegistry.org. Thanks for listening to In Tune to Nature on Radio Free Georgia, a weekly radio show hosted by Carrie Freeman or Melody Paris. Our website is facebook.com/intunetonature. Take care of yourself and others, including other species. Thanks for listening. Cheers.